Welcome everybody, and I hope you are enjoying this very different Easter weekend. We remain in the midst of these difficult times which none of us have ever experienced before. I believe that there are two ways to look at our situation. We can, quite correctly, look at the negative side. We are not able to socialise, we are not able to go about our daily business, we are not able to meet as brothers, and we live in fear of contracting what can be a killer disease. We have had to drastically change our lives. Barbara and I were due to go to Aldeburgh in Suffolk this week, but clearly that idea had to be abandoned. In fact, because of the medical problems that I experienced a few years ago, for which I will always have to take medication, I am now one of those classed as vulnerable, and I'm in total lockdown for 12 weeks. Certainly not what I am used to, and I find it very difficult just reading all day and not looking forward to regular lodge meetings. Then there is the other way to view the situation, and to be very positive. We have the massive advantage in the modern era whereby we have facilities to maintain contact with each other even if we cannot physically meet. Since we have been unable to hold lodge meetings, many lodges have set up communication groups such as WhatsApp, and I have actually joined some of them. There is an enormous amount of traffic through these methods, which means that brethren are actually communicating with each other, and sometimes actually communicating more than they would have done before. People are recognising the remembrance of absent brethren each evening at 9 o'clock, and also toasting the National Health Service. Another very important side effect is that every senior brother and widow in our province should now have been allocated a younger brother to keep in contact, not only by the odd email, but by speaking on the telephone. This clearly means that a senior man will have someone to talk to and to provide for his food and medical needs. But it will also have the effect of building a friendship between two members, which otherwise might never have happened. It is somewhat ironic that enforced separation may well bring all of us closer together. The United Grand Lodge of England is also working very hard to ensure that help is at hand for everyone in need. The 47 provinces in this country are formed into 10 regional communication groups, and we have 5 neighbouring provinces within our group. We are meeting twice a week at present through a system called Zoom, and our representative, Right Worshipful Brother David Wheeler, PGM for Lincolnshire, joins another meeting on Zoom with the team at UGL on a weekly basis. Each PGM reports to his group what steps are being taken in his province, and then the group tasks David with presenting 5 of our best practice to the Grand Lodge. Significant projects from our province which have formed part of our group's 5 best practice suggestions were the whole concept of the 3 pillars Feed the Homeless Trust and the inter-lodge quiz that is being set up. The Masonic Charitable Foundation is making £1 million available to fund these projects, £100,000 to each group. Our projects will not need any particular financing, but some of the ideas from others will need support. The projects do not need to be registered charities. You will see, therefore, brethren, that much work is going on to alleviate the stress and suffering of any member. Of course, none of us know how long these trying times will continue, but it will end at some time. We have to try and project where Masonry might sit when this happens. Catching up with Lodge's business and the change of masters, etc., will be dealt with in due time. My thoughts have to look towards a situation when many of our members will have suffered serious financial difficulties and find themselves sometimes in a parlous financial situation. Faced with having to find his lodge subscription and then return to regular meetings with meal costs, raffle costs, charity collections, he may have to make a decision about continuing his membership. We will all have to consider how lodges, the province and Grand Lodge may be able to help, as we must not have a situation where members are having to resign for financial reasons. Before I close, I would just say a few words about appointments and promotions. The provincial appointments that I was looking forward to making in May will not now be carried out until later in the year. However, the appointments and the promotions will take effect from the date on which the meeting was going to be held. With regard to the Grand Rank appointments and promotions, the investiture meeting, scheduled for the 29th of April, will not now take place, but the appointments and promotions will take effect from that date. The Grand Rank details were posted onto our provincial website, but it was my usual practice to announce them at the AGM of the Provincial Grand Charity, obviously an abandoned meeting. I will now remind you that the first appointments to PAGDC, Past Assistant Grand Director of Ceremonies, are to Worshipful Brother Bob Cox of Lactodorum Lodge and to Worshipful Brother Bob Stokes of Peterborough and Counties Lodge. Both served as Deputy Provincial Directors of Ceremonies for a number of years and have continued to support the province ever since. Bob Cox acted as the Provincial Senior Grand Warden, and Bob Stokes is now the Provincial Grand Master in the Mark degree. Also to be appointed as a Past Assistant Grand Director of Ceremonies is Worshipful Brother Martin Wilson. Martin is a Senior Bedfordshire Mason, but is also a member and Past Master of Old Kimboltonians Lodge in our province. Promotions are for Worshipful Brother David Watson to Past Senior Grand Deacon in recognition of the work he carries out for the MCF, and Worshipful Brother Michael Herbert, a Leicester Mason but a Past Master of Old Kimboltonians Lodge and well known to many of us. Michael is to become a Past Grand Sword Bearer and thereby be known in future as a very worshipful brother. The final, very pleasing appointment is for our Provincial Membership Officer, Worshipful Brother John Ferguson, who is to be appointed to the acting rank of Assistant Grand Pursuivant. My allocation for the year had already been exhausted, but John's appointment is because, like all of us, London recognise a man of worth. Finally, I would just remind everyone that Freemasonry is there to help its members when in need. There will be difficult financial times ahead for many, but do remember that help is available. Make a move before it becomes an untenable situation. Brethren, we will all meet again, but until then, follow the guidelines, take care and keep safe. God bless you.